Guys, welcome back to a solo episode this time of It's a Man's World podcast. And I am leaving Dubai today, and this is the final episode here. So, last two guests were very educational. There was a lot of information there. There was a lot of things like what I do in every podcast, with trying to give you as much value as possible, that you're not just listening to that person's story, but you're getting insight, and you could also put that into your own life. So today's episode is something that a lot of people had been asking me about, and I didn't really feel like the time was right to sit down, because there was just so many things going on that I really couldn't put together, like, from start to finish, like what has been happening, because it was just a blur. And every time I did go to do it, it was like I sat down and it was just like chaos again. So I was like, right, okay, where and when do I do this? So I thought at the end of my trip, I was meant to have a guest on today, and he will be on in the future. But with this episode, I just felt like it was very aligned. There's no script, there's no plan of action, there's no brief that got sent over to me today from Sophie. It is literally just me, you, my story, kind of what's been going on. And because as much as I love to get guests on and I like to inspire other people, I like you guys to know about what's going on as well, because I share everything I do online. So I just thought it would be a perfect moment. So let's get right in. So we're into November already, and I'm like, how the hell are we at November? Like, we're at the end of the year. And August, I'm going to recap from August, September, October, just the last 3 months, okay? If we go back into summer and all of that, I don't even know what happened back then. I would literally have to take up pictures and a timeline and figure that one out. But I'm sure you've probably seen there isn't the same team that I had at Fit Coach Rossi. I've obviously been doing a lot of the stuff myself. And I think, like, when you're in business, you're nearly scared to say those things out loud, because you think like you're a failure. You think that people think that there's things going on or what's after happening. And there's no crazy fallouts, by the way, with anyone. I just want to make that crystal clear, because I know there is a lot of questioning. But there has been a lot of change in my life. And I'm going to start with Fit Coach Rossi, because I'm going to break it down into different businesses and then myself. So for a while, I thought that building a brand was loads of coaches underneath you, a big team, and it was the total opposite of what I actually wanted. And not because it was super stressful to do, but when people aren't on the same vision or aligning on the same mission, it's very hard to build and do the things that you want to do, and you're nearly going against your grain. And I think with different mentorships, you are nearly told and shown, like, building a team, if you want to scale, there is many different ways that you can scale as well. And I do love working with women, and I work with women every single day. But in the team right now, it's downsized, and it has been the best decision ever. Like, my mind is clear, there's no micromanaging, and sometimes it's just the right people at that time, in that chapter. And then when you're going into the next phase, those people sometimes aren't in there, right? And then my thing was, well, people want to grow, they're going to come with you, but some people just don't want that type of life and don't want those things, and that's okay as well. And when I look at Fit Coach Rossi and the amount I've done, from gym floor experience, personal training, to online, to building this huge community, like, I'm so proud. Like, I could do this in my sleep, like, truly. Like, I just love it so much, and I love the girls, and been transforming women's lives literally 10 years or more. And the online community just took off after COVID, and if you're here a while, you will know that, like, it didn't take me a lot to build up the brand, because I always already had a reputation on the floor, and then the gym that I had as well at home. And then when I went online, I was just doing all the live classes. I was the one jumping around in your sitting room. Family was getting involved, and it just took off from there. And the joys of an online company is, for anyone that doesn't know, is like freedom. You get to travel wherever you want at whatever time you want. And I am so blessed as well that I don't have any responsibilities, like kids, family. I don't have anything like that. That, like, I am basically free at the minute to do whatever I want whenever I want. Okay, and in the company, there was this vision that I had, and it was actually, I think, my ego being like, well, if I have loads of coaches underneath me and coaches underneath that and this, that, it's going to be amazing. And like, that didn't go to plan. And it wasn't because of the people or the team. It was just because of, we didn't, or as a leader for myself, like, I thought it was going to be a little bit easier than that. Like, I did think, obviously I knew there was going to be blips along the way, but as I realized like the amount that I was doing as well, I kind of realigned the vision, right? So when people had left the team, it was like a decision that I had to make. I was like, where am I going with this? What am I doing with it? And then I thought in my head, and I'll be very honest, like, I'm not going to be a coach forever. And I think online coaches or personal trainers, like, in the back of your subconscious, like if you're 25 to 30, like, you will probably know that as well. Still helping people, absolutely, for the rest of my life, yes, hand on heart. But will I be a coach forever? No. And like, that was a part of me that was scared to let go. And these people in the company, and when things were going wrong and there was a lot of blah blah blah, all the chaos that comes with it, I tried to stay mutual ground, and it was very hard in the end. And I'm sure a lot of you listeners are wondering, like, where's Jade? She was like my wing woman. Like, that's something that I don't want to share, and it's nothing like a bad fallout or anything like that. But unfortunately, like, we're not in each other's lives, and that has been like a very hard part for me. And I think this is like the first time that I've sat down to actually like process that and to think about it. I don't want to get into too much of that side of things because, again, I want to make this positive. I want to show you the ups and downs, absolutely. But I just want to make it crystal clear there was no bad fallout. And I wish anyone that was ever with me or part of my chapter, like, the best of luck always. I think my leadership has really shown that I help people get to a belief in their mind and confidence that they could do anything that they want. And that is literally my superpower. Like, I know anyone that's around me, their energy is lifted. They want to do more. They want to be better. They want to become better. They want to grow. Like, my friends are like, Kira, like, I just need to be around you. They were like, I want to do more. Every time I'm with you, the conversations we have, anyone, even if it's not my friend, you will know if you've met me that that's just my energy. It's just my personality. It's in my blood. Like, it's in my bones. Like, that's who I am. And I get people to a degree where they can do that by themselves. And I think that's like a gift for me, that it's like I have instilled this confidence and helped these women like think in their head like, this is possible and I can also build my own brand. So that's just kind of where Fit Coach Rossi is at the minute. We had incredible shoots the last 2 weeks in Ireland. I had over 25 girls. I've got so many testimonials to share, by the way. And then I had the Dubai shoot, and then some of the girls from the mentorship have come over. And oh my God, I am literally like, the submissions are just like bing, bing, bing. And you know what's crazy? I have a limited number that I can work with, and I had up a coach position. And I'm still on the fence right now of whether that's like what I want to do. Because again, like, we'll see, things change, and it's all right to redirect as well. Once you have a plan set in place, like, even if that's the end line, I really don't think there is an end line. So if you're in business right now and you're like, what is the end line? Like, what is it when I get there? I don't think there is a there. I think this is the there, if that makes sense. Like, this is the journey. So that's like a Fit Coach Rossi sum up. So that's exciting. We've got like a few things planned for next year. I'm really thinking of going down the road of retreats. So I would love to know below, like, let me know, is that something that you would like? Because I feel like when we come together, it's just like, it's the best weekend ever. Like, honestly, the shoot was amazing. The ones here, the community, girls meeting each other, like, that energy is like, you will feel unstoppable. So that's Fit Coach Rossi. Pixie Legacy. I can't take on any more at the minute. I want to give the girls that are in the community right now like the utmost of my ability. This is just the startup. I done it at the start of the year back in February, and like, honestly, like, the result, the feedback, oh my God, the results that I've got so far is just like, I think after this week here in Dubai, and even the feedback that the girls have given me, it's different than any mentorship that you've ever been in. So if you are thinking about building a brand, even if it's not coaching, I am happy to help you. There is so many things and gifts that lie in you that you don't even realize, with your confidence, with working on yourself, with healing, with all of these things that people think are you don't need to even know for business, but like if you really want to be truly successful, it has to be authentic, it has to be you have to have confidence, and it comes from the inside. And that's all that I do, is like anything I do, I share, it radiates from the inside out, and that's truly what will make an incredible brand and make you magnetic for people to come in that you really want to work with. Okay, so again, like in the community at the minute, everyone is quite similar in their own way. They all have their own brand, they all have their own kind of message behind it. But again, it is just helping women in general, okay? And that's the thing, that they're all feeding off each other. You learn off me, I learn off you. Like I am also a student and always learning too. And I'm always looking at ways to improve on service, improve on myself. Because when I'm in like this state that I am right now, like calm, grounded, certain, like you best be careful. Because I honestly feel it's an indescribable feeling. It's just something that you have to experience yourself. So with Pixie Legacy, I only have like 2 spots left with the mentorship. And again, it's not just like you're signing up, you're getting scripts, what's going on. It's a lot deeper than that. So if you did feel like you were called to it, or you feel like listening right now, like I want to be part of something like that, like stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for things to fall into place and I'll do it when I have this. It's like, listen, if you really want to do it, you will find a way. Rossi Apparel took a big backseat in the last, like, I would say 6 months. Again, I probably took on a little bit more than I could handle. And I suppose that's just part of entrepreneurship. You just ride the wave, and so many people aren't honest about that. They make it seem so seamless, and it's really not. Like, I'm here to tell you, like, it has been a journey over the last 6 months, a journey and a half. With Rossi Apparel, I felt like I was close to giving it up, and then I was like, well, I don't give up on anything. Why would I do that? Everyone loves the clothes. Yes, there's tweaks and things that you have to make along the way, but you can't make every customer happy, and that was something that you just have to accept as well. But once you know from your heart, like, you've done the best that you can, and you're really giving a service or a product that is gonna make someone feel more confident, change their lives, like, how can that be a disservice to you? It can't. So with Rossi Apparel, we have the khaki launch coming out. We've got some red tracksuits. I'm so telling you this right now. Navy tracksuits and gilets. So that's like the next stop of things that we have coming out. And then I'm going to see where I'm at the end of the year, and I'm going to make a big decision in January for each quarter and what I want to do going forward, and see if it is something that I want to bring into next year in my next chapter. But that's kind of a summary of the 3 things. YouTube, podcast, everything is back. How do I manage it all? Main question that comes up a lot. When you say how do I manage it, it sounds like you're making it like a chore for me or a task. It's never like that. It's pure passion. It's excitement. Yes, I'm tired sometimes. Yes, there's things that I don't want to do all the time. Like, there is certain things in the business that you're like, ugh, and you can't just throw a delegation and get someone else to do it. You do have to kind of grin and bear it sometimes, and it comes with the good and the bad with everything, like anything. But I truly, at this moment in time, can see how everything has happened for a reason. Like, it's just crazy. In those times when you're really struggling, life is like, I'm not joking with you. If you had seen what happened in the last 4 months for me, like, you would have been like, how are you sitting here right now? Like, you would really, really be questioning me and being like, holy shit, how? So obviously, what part do I go into? Because everyone wants to know, is am I single? Have I got a man? No, I am single. you know? But whenever I do share that personal side of my life, I'm going to decide on whether I really want to do that, because I feel like my last relationship really, really, people just didn't stop asking me questions about it. And I don't mind that, but like, it kind of gets tiring after a while that you're like, that ship has like sailed. It's like, why are we still on that topic? And I just don't understand. Maybe it was just because we were such a big presence on social media together that it was like, I don't know, people were just obsessed. But if I ever do, and when I do, which I am ready for as well, by the way, I've done a lot of work and solitude over the last 2 years, and I'm at that point now where yeah, I'm ready for that. But I basically, in summary, I'll give you a little lowdown, because I know you girls like to know. So I ended up meeting this guy, and met like two really good guys in America, right? One, he was a little bit younger than me, and we had the best like bond relationship. But my thing was, I was panicking, being like, well, where is this going? Like, what are we doing? And I think I nearly pushed him away. But again, like, I know that where he is on his timeline wouldn't have matched mine. So it was like, it didn't really make sense at that time. And like, at the end of the day, like, you have to be very wise about your life and your standards too. Like, what do you want? Like, don't just settle for breadcrumbs. I'm listening to a book and an audible called The Opposite to Settling. Highly recommend listening to it. But with the two types of people that I was with when I was away, I really did fall for one, and then the other one I thought I did, okay? And you can be blindsided like anything. And I used to look at those things as like devastation. I'd be heartbroken. My mom was like, Kira, like, you were just like, you had your cry and then you were like, okay. And I was like, yeah, because when you're so certain of yourself, when you are so confident in yourself, in what you deserve, in what you want, in what you value, and what you bring to the table, it's like, I don't need you, but I want you. Okay. And like, when you're at that point, that's when you truly know you've done work, because normally I would crumble. I'd be bawling, crying. I'd be like, let's prove a point here. Like, there's literally none of it, like none of it. And it makes you think, like, what has this person taught me about myself? So when something in a relationship happens and you point the finger, you really have to point it back at yourself and say, well, what in this person, when you put up a mirror, is reflecting back to me? Like, what in me still isn't healed, or what do I need to work on that I attracted this person in? And that's a very, very honest question that you need to have with yourself, because like, the last thing you want to do is go, because like, it happened to me, but like, now you're pointing the finger at me. Well, yeah, because you attracted them in some way. So you have to be very honest with yourself. And I'm doing a lot of work at the minute with Harsha on like your heart, your womb, like working on yourself on a deeper level, a lot of breath work, and I'm very, very zen at the minute. But there's also a lot of emotion that comes with it. And instead of like hiding it and being afraid to like share it and be honest with you and be like, oh, well, it's all about this and how I feel and the healing. It's like, no, like, alongside that is like, parts of me is angry, parts of me is upset. There's parts of me that are still frustrated. And I'm like, them parts of me are all welcome. And like, I used to never welcome them. I used to be like, no, like, work and cover them, and like, you don't need to deal with that right now because that's going to slow you down. It's not. It's like, welcome it and just acknowledge it, but like, it doesn't define you and it doesn't have to carry into your next story. And last night we were on a call and we were talking about sisterhood, and whatever sister or friends or relationships were in part of your story in the, say for example, you've got 12 chapters of life, right? Or 10 chapters of life, whatever they are. And this person was in chapter 1 and you're like, yeah, but like, they're my friend for all my life and like, I've been with them for over 20 years. Like, how could I not be? It's like, listen, just because they're not part of the chapter right now, maybe you've changed and you should be evolving, you should be growing. It's like, you have to be okay with not having people in those chapters. And I think that's why people settle, because it's like, well, we're still friends, but like, she doesn't really speak to me that nice, and like, kind of drains me, blah, blah, blah. It's like, listen, like, that can be cut, and it's simple by just deciding, like, literally just deciding, like, that's not really where I am anymore, and you don't need to try and change anyone. I'll put my hand up. I was that person that tried to change people, and like, that's not something that you can ever do. Or there was something that I was speaking to today. Oh yeah, so I was actually chatting to one of the lads in the gym that I met, and he was like, here, like, I'm going through a little bit of a mad time at the minute. Like, I fell for this girl and like, blah, 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 and it ended up being whatever. And I was like, well, listen, like, look at yourself and say, why and how did I attract this person in? And um I listened to the podcast that I was telling them about, and I said, in the podcast they spoke about healing and then also waiting. So like, are you willing to work on yourself and heal, while are they willing to work on themselves and heal, and are you willing to wait? Or are you willing to work on yourself and are they willing to wait? Because it's not a compromise, but it's like a teamwork thing, and that's what a relationship is all about. And I think it's like, togetherness is something that a lot of us can't see. I definitely couldn't see it for a long time. No communication, forget about that. Like, listen, you do that to me once and you're gone. It's like, no, that's not how it works. But you do have a standard for yourself, and if the line has been crossed to a degree of a boundary, self-respect and a value that you hold, and it's like something that you can't go back on. You can't keep sugarcoating it and being like, oh, well, it's okay, and da, 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 and like, I suppose this happened. It's like, listen, if you can't hold that standard for yourself, don't be shocked when it happens to you again, okay? And I touch on a lot of like myself and the healing and the relationships and the friendships that I have, because I know there's a lot of people that most people in business are struggling as well, because their personal life is all over the place. They can't function, they don't have a healthy relationship, and they can't communicate. Like, communication is a big thing. Like, you have to be able to understand someone, and someone else has to be able to understand you. And with my vision and like the type of person that I would want to spend my life with is like, I will lay out on the table like who I am, not by what I do, but by who I am, okay? And alongside who I am comes like the business, the journey, the time, the limits, the sky that I'm trying to reach towards, like the vision that I have, the life I want to live. And that can scare a lot of people. And a lot of people are like, well, why would you want that? Like, I mean, like, I'd be granted it. And I'm like, that's okay as well. But like, I don't want that. And like, I'm okay to put my hand up and be like, I want more. Like, and what is more? Like, I want a life that I never thought was possible. I'm breaking generational chains. Like, literally, I am understanding myself and getting to know my new version of myself that I'm like, what? That's you? Because sometimes that's like a lot of imposter syndrome, that like you've done this work and like she's standing there and you're like, no, that's not me. Like, I would not act like that. But like, you kind of auto correct yourself along the way when things come up, and like you pause, and like you're not as fast to jumping in. If you know Aries and fire signs, we jump. Like, we will say things before we think, and I've also learned a lot along the way about that. But when you look at what you want in life, whether it's a job, whether it's your relationships, your friendships, where you want to live, you can't let things like, oh, my family live here and I can't do that. It's like, what do you want though? Well, I would love to do that, but, and if you say I would love to do that, but, it's like there will always be part of you on the inside that isn't fully fulfilled and also happy with where you are and with who you are. You can be anywhere in the world and not be happy, okay? You could be living in New York in a penthouse and you still might not be happy. You could be in Dubai living on the palm looking out and you could still feel empty and lonely. And for me, like, connection is everything. And as much as you see me alone, like, I am very connected with myself. So what that means is like, I actually attract people in, and it's not because I need them. And it's like an urgency thing where I'm like latching on to people like, what are you doing this weekend? It's like, no, it's not like that. You have to be what you want. You have to be yourself first. Okay. And a lot of people they think they want these things because maybe that's where your family live, maybe that's the way your friends are doing it. And I only spoke to a girl on a call the other day, and she spoke about how much pressure there is on us as women, especially with our timeline, biological clock, absolutely. But it's a lot of pressure if, like, you haven't got it figured out, you haven't got a house, you're not married or engaged at this point. Like, I've only been to one wedding in my life, and it has not been in my family. Like, I have never been to another wedding. Like, and for myself, it's like, I share this because I know there's people listening that feel the same way, or maybe there's people going into commitment like this and they don't want to do it. You never have to do anything, and you can always break away and break free, and people will understand down the line. They won't get it right there and then, but if it doesn't make you truly happy, like, you really have to ask yourself, like, is this worth it? Because why are you jeopardizing your life and yourself for someone else or something? So when we look at like an overall year for me and the work that I've been doing, it's never ending. It's always a journey that will just keep going, keep going, keep going. And I'm always getting to know myself that little bit more. And Harsha had said to me last week, like, Kira, what happens if someone comes into your life and like they aren't all that you thought they were going to be? Like, are you okay with that? And I'm like, I don't expect someone to come in and to change them, but I do expect, and I will lay out what my standard is, what I respect, what I don't. I'll be clear on that from the start. And again, it's all right if someone is like, absolutely not, you can tell her to fuck off. It's like, okay, but that's cool with me as well. Right. And if you truly love yourself, you'll be all right with being open and having a boundary like that with yourself, that you're like, no, this is what I want and this is what I deserve and this is truly what will make me happy. But you don't know what that is until you really work on yourself. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people. They just sell because it's like, oh, well, I'm with them ages and like they work in the company and like you couldn't do that and blah, blah, blah. Then they end up having a divorce and murder and all down the line. So it's like, what do you want? And are you going to give yourself the heartbreak, or are you going to be truly fulfilled? And again, in relationship, I don't know right now, but a lot of people have been saying to me, it's not hard. There's always different things in relationships that you're like, oh my God, I love to kill you. It's always going to be like that, but you also love someone deeper, and it's a soul contract. And like, that's something that I am definitely ready for sure. So that's like a lowdown on Fit Coach Rossi, Pixie Legacy, the Dubai trip, the shoot in Dublin, the results that we're turning over. Like this month in November, I have a result for every single day of the month, and that to me is like a serious achievement. Like every single day, I have a result. So if you are interested, I am hopefully going to share this episode maybe at the end of November. I'm waiting till a little bit later. But the game plan and the happiness and where I am happy is right now, right here. Yeah, absolutely. With myself, but where I want to live has been decided, and that has been something that like I was like, oh my God, I don't really know what I want. I'm all over the place. Like you can also be in a chapter like that too, but for me, I know where I want to be. You know, like I know what's next. When we come to a close at the end of the year and we look back on, let's not even just say the things that we've achieved, the things that have gone down the like literally the shithole, the hiccups, the heartbreak, the tears, the setbacks, they are all things that are all aligned for you. And when I look back on the last couple of months, I always think to myself, holy shit, how did I survive that? My mom was like at one point, Kira, just come home. And I was like, yeah, I need to. Like, I could not even function. There was just so much heartbreak, upset, like crumbling. But like, I had to come home and reset. I had to do all of those things because, like, I'm not joking with you. Like I said last night on the call, like I am like a phoenix rising from the ashes right now. Like honestly, nothing feels like you could stop me. Like I mean it. Like nothing feels like you could stop me. And I love to share this side of me as well. But what you don't see is the me sitting in the middle of my sitting room floor, bawling, crying. I was like, how am I going to do this? Like, what is going on? I felt pure betrayal, heartbreak. I couldn't believe what was happening. And people told me one thing, and they were doing the total opposite other, and people that you really trusted. And it's just like, oh my God, like what? But it just teached and taught me so much about myself and taught me how resilient I am. And it's put me in a position right now that like not everyone gets access to the bubble, not everyone. And I let people in too close and too far that like I need to be a little bit more selective as well. And that's something that I am learning. But the journey of self-improvement, personal development, healing, opening my heart, working on myself, being okay with being speaking my truth and who I am and what I love and like God or anything like that. And you've been told like don't be speaking about God for too much. Don't like say that out loud. And like I can say what I want when I want. I don't care what my mom's opinion is. Of course, I respect it to a degree, but I will always, always, always stay true to myself. And I quieted my voice for too long. And even when you used to talk to me, people would be like, here, I don't know what you're saying. Like, what are you saying? I'd be like, shh, like people can't hear or whatever. Because I'd never spoke my truth. I didn't want to upset or offend anyone else. Because when you're growing up and you're naturally very good at different things, like you're called Little Miss Perfect. And like, what could you do wrong? And for me, it's like, I didn't want to upset or hurt anyone else. So like, never let that be your the thing that would slow you down, because like pretty privilege can be a big thing, but that comes from the inside. I'm not talking about the outside. It's like a soul thing. So when you see me right now and you see me in Dubai and you see after the shoot that we done on the yacht and the Dublin shoot at home and the clients flowing and me really happy, like just know that like I had to go through turmoil is what I'm going to say over the last couple of months to get myself to this rebirth of a position in comparison to this debt and the old version of me. And you don't think it's working out and you're really like, how on earth is this happening to me? Why me? But when you trust and when you see like there is a reason that I am having this breakdown, there is a reason that all of this is crumbling and people are stepping out. It's getting rid of the old and the new is entering. And when you actually believe and truly understand it, you look and you go, yeah, I get it now. Okay. So when I think of the hardship, I'm like, the blessing is going to be like excel. Like this is going to be through the roof. It's going to be worth it. And that's the type of excitement and life I live every day. I try my best anyways. But for now I am heading back home tonight and I'm back home for a couple of weeks and then I set sail again, and then that's it. I'm done with the travel. I'm done, and I just want to like kind of lock in a little bit and be in a set base for the next couple of years anyway. So that's like a lowdown on everything. There was a lot of questions that kind of came through on like startup business. Am I single? Like, where am I at? What's next? Where would you stay in Dubai? I would stay in, definitely never stay down in Business Bay. Horrendous traffic. Like, honestly, I did not like that vibe, and I think I was there as well because I literally could not get out of my apartment to stay put, to lock in, to do the things that I needed to do. Again, you look at it and you're like, why did I stay here? And then you look back and you're like, I was meant to stay there and get locked in. Like, I wasn't meant to be going off to this gym, that gym, and spend hours on end outside. So everything happens for a reason. When you look at my journey, like, again, like, you look at everything, you're like, God, you're just glowing, you're killing it, and it's like, yes, but just know that like it has been very hard, and I want to make that as real and not a sympathy thing, because you will probably be feeling the same thing right now, and just know like at the end of that tunnel there is a light, and it always comes back out, and sometimes it shines brighter, actually all the time it shines brighter than you ever know. And I bumped into some people today in the gym again, and they were like, here, like, you are just glowing, like, I'm so happy for you. And I'm okay with taking a compliment and being like, yeah, I am. Like, I am. I know. I can feel it. Like, and it's nice to hear it from other people. But when you know and when you truly feel it, like, that's indescribable. So that's basically a lowdown on everything. There is so much to come with events, retreats. I would love to know your feedback, because again, when I share this podcast and when you're relating or maybe you're not, like, if you're feeling any lack in your life, like, just look inwards and don't look at the financial side of things. Don't look at everything where you are. Your mindset is everything. Like, I can go home now tomorrow and it's going to be lashing raining. I'm at home and everyone's like, oh, what's it like being back with the weather? I'm like, guys, like, I lived here for my whole life. Like, I know it's cool. Like, I know I'll be getting off again, but it's your mindset and your perspective of everything. And if you can find things to be grateful for in your life every single day, hence why those journaling prompts are going to be key. I am thinking about bringing out that journal as well, that I'm working on behind the scenes. So yeah, the next stop I think is going to be London. I am going over to see my dad, and yeah, like, going over to even see my dad and be so loving and relaxed and chill. No hate, no nothing. Like, it's just, it's a different feeling. So that's like the plan. And then obviously I will keep you posted on everything else, but for now, like, some things need to stay a little bit closer to my heart, and that will be personal, that will be business, and just like, watch what's to come. And the biggest thing that I can say to you right now is implementation, action, and truth. And when I say implementation, implement the things that you say you're going to do and take action. Don't just say you're going to do them. Like, take action and do the thing that you keep saying you're going to do. And then truth is, look at your life and look at yourself and say, where in my life right now am I not being true to myself? Where am I not fully happy? What is it in me right now that I need to heal and work on? Because that will crack open a different part of your heart. More light will come in, and you'll be like, that's what I needed to address. Because you can't keep pushing personal things below, because you will see in your money, in everything else, that there is something going on there with the business as well. So if you do want to tap into your utmost potential, that would be like the best advice that I could give you right now in this present moment. But guys, it's always a pleasure sitting down here, and it's nice to actually give myself the time, especially because I'm going home today, to be able to actually process it. But there was a time when I sat here on this chair doing this podcast, and it was like, guys, it's the first episode. I had my laptop out. Like, there was no flow. There was flow, but like, I had the laptop out with the script and all. Like, I sat here being like, I'm bringing out a podcast called It's a Man's World. Like, like, I can say it now. Like, outside they asked me, like, what's your podcast called? Like, a man. And I was like, it's called It's a Man's World. And he was like, oh, right. And like, I say that with like discernment. I say it with confidence. Like, it's a man's world, and I'm not saying it because, oh my God, it's a man's world. It's like, we all live in it, but that's what my podcast was about. And to this day, I think we're like maybe 2 years down the line with the podcast and different episodes. So I'd love to know your feedback. I'd love to know like how you found this episode. Was it helpful? Is it exciting listening to things like that? Because when you speak it, you're like, it's exciting to me, but I would love to know feedback from you too. But if you do have any questions, of course, you can always pop me a DM. You can pop something below. It's always nice to hear feedback. So I would love if you could comment something below, maybe give it a little share. And yeah, who knows where I'll be for the next solo episode, but just mark my words, my manifestation is coming true, and this is going to be a moment that I'm going to remember. So thank you for watching and listening wherever you are in the world. Have an amazing end to your year, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. Bye.